Good evening. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the second episode of the world's greatest, soon to be world's famous Sports Corner podcast. My name is Cole Sharf, and I'm your host. My co-host is Anthony Fielding.
How you guys doing?
My brother from another mother.
Yo.
Um, Today our guest is Rob Stiletto. Sotelo.
Stiletto.
But before we bring our guest in, we're gonna do our segment Max's Facts today. Max is gonna talk about Lambeau Field. What do you got for us today, Max? Grab the mic if you don't mind, please.
Good evening. I'm Max, and welcome to Max's Facts. Today I will be talking about Lambeau Field. It's located in Green Bay, Wisconsin, home to the Green Bay Packers. It opened in 1957 as City Stadium. It got renamed in 1958 in memory of Packers founder Curly Lambeau, who died 2 months earlier. The stadium is elevated at 640 feet above sea level. Lambeau Field is the fifth largest field in the NFL. Tune in next time. Thanks.
Thank you, Max. Those are good facts. I didn't know that about Lambeau Field. That's cool. I've actually been there before, so now that I know some more about it, that makes it even better. And that brings us to our guest, Rob Stiletto Sotelo. Yeah, the baddest man in IT. The coldest man in IT. All right, so this is how we do it here. We go over some topics anywhere from basketball, football, golf, baseball, college football, racing, whatever it is. But today, I know you're a big NBA fan, so today we're going to do mostly NBA, but there's a couple things that aren't NBA related. So for the first topic, Kaepernick. We talked about that a little bit on the last podcast, me and Anthony and our last guest, Ryan. Some things have changed. He actually got a visit scheduled with Seattle, but they gave him the ultimatum that he has to say he won't kneel anymore, and they'll give him a workout. How do you guys feel about that? I'll go ahead and state my opinion real quick. I get it because we have bosses and we have to follow the rules our bosses make. So I mean, he had a chance to get another opportunity. He didn't want to do what they wanted him to do, so he turned it down. Anthony, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I understand there's certain guidelines that players have to go through for the team, but I think that they need more players to come out and they say they're in support of Kaepernick, but they're just basically leaving him isolated. And I think more players come out and just say that we're, as a team, we'll just stay in the locker room.
Yeah.
I think that's what they should just do, and then just be gone with it because he's a great athlete, and I think he can help a lot of teams out, especially as a backup.
Especially when quarterbacks like Joe Weber getting signed. He's had 35 passing yards in the last 4 years.
Right.
Rob, how do you feel about that? What do you think about that?
I don't know. Just always thought, like I said.
Freedom of speech?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really actually been keeping up with that as of late, but.
Okay,
I mean,
all right.
I've always never understood why he's not even on a team yet, because he's a good player. I mean, he proved that when he played for San Francisco.
He
had a bad couple years, but.
Yeah, he got a team to the Super Bowl. Not many people do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're all in agreement that I mean, there should be some. He's got to follow the rules, but at the same time, there needs to be more done, so it's not a problem. So we all think he should be on the football field playing. Basically, is what it breaks down
Yep.
to.
Yep.
So let's get into this then. NBA playoffs. They just started today. Obviously, you're a Portland fan, Rob. Anthony's a Houston fan.
Houston.
I'm a Nuggets fan, and my Nuggets fell short last game of the season, double overtime, so we're not in the playoffs.
What a game.
Yeah, it was a great game. There was a couple of bad calls that I don't like, but that's with anybody that loses. Let's. I mean, what are you guys' predictions? I mean, obviously, what's your prediction on who's gonna win it all?
I don't know. It's tough out west. It all really depends on people coming back from injuries. Yeah, I mean, especially Golden State. Curry's very vital to that team. So
Yep.
Yeah, if it's gonna take them through the first round, I just hope they can make it. I mean, they played very well today. Score was 113 to 92. So.
It's good. With Andre Iguodala playing point guard.
Yeah. So.
Okay. How do you think Houston's gonna do?
I think we'll make it out the first round. I say in 5 games. I think Minnesota will sneak one. I am a little bit nervous about them because Jimmy Butler just came back from injury, and
that's
they
who
got
killed us.
they got some more vets on their team. So I definitely would have liked to play Denver
Oh.
in the first round.
Oh yeah, is that an easier matchup? Is that what you're saying over there?
It is, but
Oh,
at
okay,
least
all
it'll,
right.
At least it'll keep us on our toes.
it'll probably keep you more awake for the first round because most teams sleep against that.
I'm ready to play Golden State.
Yeah, Minnesota's got a lot of good players.
Yeah, I'm ready to play Golden State. That's what I want.
Yeah, you got to get through Minnesota first.
Yep.
So then let's get to this is a little bit different topic. We'll get back to NBA later. We'll get more in depth in that because that's like I said. I know you're a big NBA fan. So this the Masters were just last week, and the winner was Patrick Reed. He was nobody's ever heard of him, and then I mean you've heard of him, but he's never really won anything. Let's just say the previous 3 times he played at the Masters, he shot 26 over par. So to go from shooting 26 over par to winning the Masters in a 3-year span is pretty incredible to me. I mean that's the Super Bowl of golf. So I started doing some research, digging into him and finding out who this guy was, and I read this story that he has no type of relationship with anybody in his family. His parents, his brother, his sister, his nieces, his nephews, nothing. And to me, that's just crazy because me growing up, I don't have a very good relationship with my family, and so it kind of hit home a little bit. And so I started reading more, and apparently, back in college, he got caught cheating on a golf tournament, and that's not good. And there's a bunch of speculation that he was stealing money from people. But to bring that full circle, so to me it seems like he obviously we don't know the full issue, but to me it seems like he's a bigger problem than the parents, because the parents, everything I've read, want to reconcile and make everything better and be in his life. Well, it was just crazy to me because the Masters, his parents live 3.5 miles away from Augusta where the Masters is played, and they couldn't be there to watch their son win the Super Bowl of golf. And like I'm just like, get over it. You only live once. This is a moment that you might not ever get again. You know what I mean? And to me, that's the moment you want your family and your friends. You know what I mean? That's how do you guys feel about that? Is that crazy or what?
Yeah, that's really crazy. I mean, I don't understand how people just hold grudges their whole lives. Like that's something I can't understand. I never could.
Well, the last time that they said that they had contact?
Yeah, what was it?
I don't know.
The last I heard was the parents were at the U.S. Open in 2016, and they went there because they had to buy tickets, and so they bought tickets as fans. And then once his wife saw him at the U.S. Open, she had him escorted off the golf course. So I don't know the last time they've actually had physical contact with each other, but they tried to be there and watch him golf, and even then they got escorted off of the golf course. So I would like to find the reasoning, but it just blows my mind. Like you said, grudges, man. We could all die in a car crash tomorrow. You know what I mean? So it's like, why hold a grudge? And I used to hold grudges a lot. I used to be really bad at that. And
when I was doing a little research on it, from what I heard, it just sounded like a misunderstanding, really, like between his wife. I can't remember what her name is, but to where she says that he stays away from them because he grew up with an abusive, with that parenting, and then his parents say the complete opposite when they're asked about it.
yeah, that's what I mean. I wish we could get. I mean, maybe there is some truth to that. He was abused growing up, but I mean, at the same time, I don't know. It's hard to say anything because we don't know the facts. It was just weird to me to know, like, if my son was playing in the Masters golf tournament and I wasn't able to see my son do that, even play, let alone win, I would be devastated and heartbroken. So I would do everything in my power to make that relationship back to what it should be as a father-son relationship. So that's all. That's the only sappy thing I had today. You got anything else to say on that, Anthony?
What was that?
I said that's the last sappy story we have today. Do you have anything else to say on that?
No, not really. I pretty much just knew him as the beer belly guy, right?
Yes, he definitely likes to drink beer. That's also a lot of
doing
things
it
I
for the
read.
dad bods.
Yeah, do it for the dad bods for sure.
Yep.
All right, so let's get into it. Anthony, the co-host, is a Houston fan, as you heard in the opening. They're the 1 seed in the West, the Western Conference, the toughest conference in basketball. They blew out expectations. Chris Paul's been playing lights out. James Harden's been playing lights out. They're I know he doesn't want me to say this, but I picked him to win it all a couple months ago. I have the text message proof that I sent to him. I was like, I know you're not going to like this, but I'm picking Houston to win it all. And so that's my pick for the playoffs. I'm rooting for Philly, but we'll get into that again. Go ahead. What do you got about Houston? How do you think? What's their season overall?
Yeah, I was really impressed with their season, and like, usually you play 4 games against teams and stuff, and a lot of those, like, we didn't really lose a lot of those. I mean, we only lost 16 games, I think. And I know like Chris Paul was a big addition, but I think the real MVP is James Harden.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's leads the league in scoring. His shooting percentage is 61.9%, with
He shot 61%.
Yeah, with 265 threes.
He shot 61%.
Yeah. On the
Holy
regular season.
smokes! Is
Yeah.
that the best ever? It's got to
Maybe.
be close. It's got to be close.
I would think Wilt probably was somewhere up there though.
I mean,
Yeah.
that 61% is insane.
Yeah, we'd have to look that up.
Yeah, 61% is insane.
Yeah, shot the most 3-pointers too, and he had the most isolation plays.
Yep.
And I know, like, LeBron James is always up there in the MVP talk, but I think this year, I mean, James Harden is consistently playing MVP seasons.
Not even
So
a point guard, he almost has 9
Right.
assists a game.
yeah.
Yeah. So Rob, what do you think about Houston's season? They surprise you? Did they overachieve? You know.
I knew they would play good. The thing that surprised me was how well they played without Chris Paul.
Yep. That was scary.
That's when James Harden stepped up big time.
Here we go.
I know they've had some young people.
Yeah, and I think it helps that last year he played point guard, so he knows how to control the ball. So when Chris Paul's off to get that rest, Yeah. yeah, Chris Paul got good rest, so he's real healthy for the playoffs.
So our guest here, Rob called it. Wilt Chamberlain had a 72% shooting percentage, is the greatest of all time in the 1972-73 season.
He had a 100-point game too, didn't he?
Yep.
He's got some records to
Yep.
believe.
Yeah.
And he's not even in the conversation about greatest of all time. So like I said, I think Houston wins it all. Let's get to my favorite team, the very disappointing Denver Nuggets. No, they weren't disappointing. I mean, we should have.
As always.
Honestly, Paul Millsap was a disappointment to me. I felt like with a $30 million contract, he's coming in here. He should have got us over the hump. We were closer this year, but I feel like a player with that superstar caliber. I mean, he might not be a superstar, but he's a top 10, top 15 player in the NBA.
Sought after for sure.
Should have got us over the hump. So I'm disappointed. I mean, we were right there in the end. We fought all the way to the end. Me and you were actually at the Portland-Denver game in Denver. And then we lost to Minnesota in double overtime to not make it to the playoffs. So I'm disappointed, to say the least. But we have Jokic, who will be a superstar, and one of the best big men this game has ever seen as long as he can stay healthy. That's my opinion. And Jamal Murray.
Definitely does pass him big.
Jamal Murray is growing into becoming a ruthless, not scared of anybody type of player. He shoots the ball when the hands are in his face. And Gary Harris, I think we have a good solid core. I think we need to get somebody in the offseason. But
Is this boy Gary Harrison?
Barton.
Is it their second year?
Yeah. Gary Harris is his third season for Gary Harris. Jokic's third season as well, but he didn't play very much his first season.
I got a question for you, Cole. What do you think about your coach?
I was just actually talking to somebody about that. I mean, I think he's definitely helped our defense out. We were 30th in the NBA for like 3 years in a row with defense, and since he's been there, we're like 20th, 19th. I mean, yeah, it's still not great, but 11 spots better.
Well, yeah, you're
It's
in the West.
improvement, and so I like that aspect. But I feel like he doesn't call the best calls a lot,
Yeah.
and some of the lineups he makes up doesn't make sense to me. Like when we were playing Minnesota in overtime, there's no reason you don't have Gary Harris, Jamal Murray, and Jokic on the floor for the whole overtime period
Right.
together.
Basically, last game of the year.
Yeah, you have, like you always say. What do you always say?
Last game of the year. Can't hold anything back.
Go ahead.
If now there's a lot of coaches getting fired now. A lot of these teams are letting coaches go already.
Yep.
Which I guess is expected. Is there any of them out there that are already being let go, or some that may be let go that you would like?
I want Doc Rivers, because if you guys listen to Doc Rivers' press conference, he's like, I think the Clippers and Doc Rivers are coming to a divorce, and if he becomes a free agent head coach, I want Doc Rivers in Denver.
Is he going to bring Austin with him?
I'll take Austin if it means we get Doc Rivers. So yeah, I mean, what did you think of the Nuggets season? Underachieved, overachieved, what?
According to everyone else's predictions, they underachieved, I guess. I thought they would do better with Paul Millsap, obviously, but it was so tight. I mean, Portland's the 3rd seed, and we're only above the 6th seed who we're playing, and we're only up by 1 game.
Yep.
One game. So everything was just so tight in the bottom of the West. So, like you said, it came all the way down to the end. You guys could have easily made the playoffs.
overall
You'd
shooting
be talking about a whole different story.
Yep.
For Nuggets.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I think there'll be a lot of questions going into the offseason to see what you guys need to get over that hump and get into the playoffs. When was the last time you guys went?
5 years. It's been 5 years.
A long time.
I wouldn't mind us getting like Paul George or somebody like that to solidify that small forward position. And
Paul George wants to go to LA.
I'll pass it here to you and Anthony in a second, but real quick, if Denver would have made it to the 8th seed, Anthony will be in Denver next week, and he would have been able to see Houston versus Denver in the playoffs on April 23rd.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Well,
so,
the 21st. The 21st.
oh, so the 21st. So Denver let him down in that aspect
Yeah.
because I would have done everything in my power to be at that game. But so yeah, how do you think Denver underachieved, or where they should have been, or what?
Well, I think if they would have made the playoffs, for me, I think I would have been, I guess, a little shocked. I didn't expect much from Denver, but that Jokic dude is really good. I mean, the thing I didn't like about that last game was they kept drawing plays for him to shoot 3-pointers, and I'm like, dude, he had 30 points, and most of them were in the paint.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
Big man.
yeah, I just didn't like it. I don't even think he scored at all. Like
That last play in regulation that they drew
Yeah.
up that corner three. Like, what are you doing,
Yeah.
man? Let him hit a turnaround jumper at least,
Yeah.
not a 3-point corner turnaround
Right.
jumper. Those are the play calls I'm talking about with our
yeah,
head coach.
That's why I asked you about
Yeah.
your coach.
If they keep him, I understand why they keep him. If we get rid of him, I also understand why we get rid of him. We brought in Paul Millsap on $30 million a year. There's no reason we shouldn't be in the playoffs. So yeah, that's how it is. A disappointment to me. Anthony thinks that's where they should have been.
We got a young core.
Yeah, we still got a young core, so that's
Yeah.
good. Future looks bright. Now let's get to these Portland Trailblazers here, Rob. Before we get into that though, give me a history and a rundown on why you're a Portland fan. Why you picked Portland? You know what I mean? We're in Omaha, Nebraska.
I think it was by them not picking up MJ. That's probably why.
I wasn't alive then, so that's not it.
Yeah, but
One of the stories I found out after becoming a fan that really hurt a lot. Like, what are they thinking? I don't understand. But
Yep.
at that time, when they were drafting, they had Clyde, who was, at the time one of the best shooting guards in the game. So I think that's why they chose to pass. They needed a big man, like always. So they chose to take Sam Bowie, and we all know how that went. I guess long story short, the way I became a Trailblazers fan is because I just started to like basketball in elementary school. From there, I would just start playing, and then I would just start picking up games or what like that. Just playing. I don't remember what game. I think it was like Fox Sports basketball or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And at the time, around that time, they were good. I do also remember, because they were in the finals against the Lakers. I do remember also watching it with other people and basically rooting against the Lakers because it seemed like it was everybody rooting for the Lakers.
Yep. It's still like that today, unfortunately.
And you see why the Lakers are the hit team I hate the most. But like I said, I guess started playing games like that, and I just started playing with them, and they were a good team, so I liked their colors and whatnot, and I don't know, like I said, just kind of attached to them, and ever since then, just the love and the attachment kept growing, and
Yep.
that's just what fandom becomes, I guess.
Portland for life, huh?
Yep.
All right, this is where it's gonna get chippy in here. NBA MVP. I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna piss Anthony off. Westbrook, you got to give it to him again, man. He averaged a triple-double 2 years in a row. No one has ever done that before. I don't care. That's the job, is to pad your stats. Yes.
The job is to play the game for your team.
Okay,
not grab
but how are you gonna say that there's 5 other guys on the opposing team that could have stopped him from getting those rebounds? That could have he averaged 25 points a game. That ain't padding your stats. I don't care.
And the thing about
he-
that stats thing though is that the LeBron and MJ debate. Everybody always says like the stats don't matter. It's about the rings, and the MVP is he's the contributor of your team.
The person that helps
And
the team.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
what's the Rockets' record?
Yeah,
I mean,
16
clearly the best
losses.
record
Yeah,
in the league.
Okay, but look at Houston's roster compared to OKC's roster.
OKC has 3 what most
Yeah.
people would consider superstars.
yeah.
But
Paul
Me-
George and Carmelo Anthony.
Melo's not a superstar.
I said debatable. But
Melo's a liability on Melo's a liability on these. But he's also.
I know, he is older. He's different now. But
So who's your pick? I mean, obviously your pick's Harden over there, Anthony, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No questions asked. Unanimous.
You ever see the beard?
Fear the beard. Yeah. I mean, definitely Harden's been there the last 3 years. So if they gave it to him, I could. You know what I mean? He deserves it too. But I just cannot get over the fact the dude averaged a triple-double 2 years in a row. That is insane. No one else has done it. No one else has came close to doing it. You know what I mean? That just blows my mind. And I don't think it'll ever happen again.
I just don't like it because I feel like it was forced. I don't feel like it happened.
Okay. But doesn't that make it harder if people know he's going after it and he needs 16 rebounds? You don't think people are going to fight harder to prevent that from happening?
Not. Look at the last game. He had his career high just because he wanted to get that record.
Okay, who do you think MVP is?
Harden.
You think Harden's MVP? No questions asked. Unanimous.
Best team, best player. He led them all the way there.
So will you be mad if they come out and name Westbrook the MVP?
I will. I'll be mad. I was mad when Curry won it twice in a row.
Yeah.
Because that first year Curry shouldn't have won. It should have been Harden.
And then what do you guys think about this Rookie of the Year stuff going on with Embiid and that kid from Utah? Did you see those hoodies?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
that was
He
funny.
made a hoodie with the rookie definition on it. Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
I think he's got a point though.
Yeah.
He does.
He does.
He is truly a rookie.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons. Granted, he didn't play. He spent time with the team. He practiced.
He learned the playbook.
Played,
Yeah.
like that. In fact, from what I heard, his injury was actually good and right. He was cleared to play. I think in the last 20 games last season, he chose not to because he wanted to get the rookie of the year. Another.
I mean,
Westbrook, where it's
so.
forced, trying to get those awards.
Yeah,
It's all about myself.
But I
Out
think
rebounding your centers.
I think the center should jump higher. I mean, it's that simple. They just got to jump higher.
They were helping him.
Ben Simmons, I think, will be a top 5 player in the next 3 years.
Yeah,
The
Ben
dude
Simmons
out
is
there
very
is
good.
just floating on the court, man.
I saw a video of him against Magic.
Yeah, they were.
Exactly the same.
It was insane. It was
Yeah.
insane. He's gonna be good. And if Embiid could stay healthy, that could be the next Kobe Shaq
Yeah.
duo, dude.
I do
You know
like
what
I
mean?
do like Philly. I've always been like
I'm always
just because
rooting for the
Iverson.
underdogs.
Just because
I
Iverson.
think
Man.
that process is gonna work, but it looks like it's
Yeah,
going
trust it. Trust the process. Maybe Portland should try the process.
Nah, we're good.
Where will LeBron James end up?
That's a tough one.
It's tough.
He's not okay. Can we all agree he's not
I
going to
think
stay
it
in
all
Cleveland?
depends- it all
I can't
depends on
even
what
agree to
happens in
that.
the playoffs.
Okay.
Like,
If you can at least bring them back to the finals.
Oh,
maybe he stays.
They're not getting to the finals. Cleveland is not getting to the finals.
I don't think they are either, but
I think Toronto's for real, dude.
Yeah,
I think
Toronto's
Toronto
really good.
is for real. Only because Drake be rapping about him.
Toronto, he's gonna go to Toronto.
No, I'm
No.
saying Toronto's going to beat Cleveland in the playoffs. I think Toronto makes it to the finals. Oh, it's 5:00, guys. Woo!
yeah, so we'll have to see Drake hanging around.
Yeah, because he's a Cavs fan throughout the year, but then when Toronto's relevant, he's got his. I know he takes jerseys off. And he's got other jerseys underneath. I think he'll end up in the Lakers. I think he'll end up going to the Lakers. And,
everybody's going to the damn Lakers.
well, because they got money and they got Magic Johnson back in the front office. And then while we're talking about the Lakers real quick, did you see Lonzo Ball's little brother is getting recruited by the Lakers? They flew somebody out there to watch his game getting scouted. But 2 weeks ago they said there's no way he gets drafted, but now LA's flying to Lithuania to watch him play basketball games. Dude, is the ball dad's dream going to come
that's the
true
youngest
or
one,
what?
right?
No, that's the middle.
The
The
middle
middle.
one?
The middle one. Yeah, the youngest one's not eligible yet. He's only 16.
Okay.
But
I haven't seen the middle one play as much as
What if the-
Lonzo and the young
what if the dad said that stuff and all 3 of them end up playing for the Lakers like he said?
I wonder if that was.
I don't know. The Lakers will probably still be the the same they are, like 30-win seasons.
I wonder if there was something behind that, though.
But if they get LeBron and Paul George like they're supposed to next year, dude, LA could turn it around real quick because they got a couple little young pieces too. But Ball can't shoot the ball worth of crap. He ain't gonna learn how to do that in the offseason. But that's just I think he ends up in LA. Where you think you said it depends on the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I could see him going to LA. I mean,
He's gonna go. We all know he's gonna leave Tristan Thompson's side though. He don't want that bad juju.
what do you think? What do you think down in San Antonio? You think Popovich?
Popovich is-
play Pop?
I think Pop's done.
You think Pop's done?
Speaking
Yeah.
of San Antonio, did you hear that the girl coach is gonna take over down there after he's done?
I've heard that, yeah, a while ago, but
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. One thing about like one reason I want LeBron to come to Houston is because of this. I just seen this today.
Oh yeah, you gotta go read that. Read
It
that.
said if LeBron and Paul George go to Houston this offseason, the starting lineup first names would be Chris Paul, LeBron James. And then the starting lineup for the last names would be Paul George and James Harden.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
I call Illuminati. If that happens,
right,
okay?
Illuminati.
I just thought that was funny, but
Yeah,
I don't think LeBron. I think LeBron's gonna stay in Cleveland.
No way. He's not loyal. He's not loyal.
even if they lose like in the first round,
Yeah, I think he's gonna stay in Cleveland.
He's gone. Well, honestly, this is what it breaks down to. The owner of the Cavaliers is a huge Donald Trump supporter, and we all know how LeBron James feels about Donald Trump. So they're saying that's going to play a big factor into it.
Oh, I
regardless.
didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a huge Donald. He's got his "Make America Great" hat hanging on the wall when you walk into his office.
Well, I know the Vegas odds favor him going to Houston. So.
Well, I mean, if he wants to pull the Durant.
Odds on where he's going.
Oh, dude, they got Vegas odds on everything. But if he went to Houston, it'd be Golden State versus Houston in the Western Conference Finals every year, and then whoever wins the Western Conference Final wins the championship.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
one thing about LeBron is the dude is definitely not decreased. He's only getting more consistent and better. So.
Yeah.
That's why you can never know what they're gonna do.
Yep. So let's switch over to the NFL here real quick. The NFL draft that's coming up 2 weeks. You're a Giants fan, kind of, from what you've told me, a little bit. They've got the second pick in the draft. I'm a Jets fan, obviously, as you can see.
You see Barkley?
That's what I was gonna
Saquon
say.
Barkley?
Yeah, go ahead, break it for us.
He was spotted in a barbershop with Giants gear on. So
That's crazy. I think it's either he's toying with people or he's going to be a Giant. So to me, as a Jets fan, take him because the Browns are going to take Donald at number 1. That leaves us Mayfield, Rosen, and Allen, and that means we'll get my boy Baker Mayfield, and that's who I want. If we leave the draft without Baker Mayfield, it's a flop to me. We got to get Baker. Would you be? I mean, if the Giants got Barkley, that would completely change their offense. Him and Odell Beckham Jr. on the same offense, it would be insane because that dude jumps higher than Julio Jones, and Julio Jones is a wide receiver. So I mean, that'd be huge for you. What do you think Buffalo's gonna do? There's all those rumbles of them trading up for a quarterback.
yeah, Buffalo they look like a mess right now. I mean, we got Richie Incognito. This morning he had tweeted that he was just playing about.
Oh my God, this dude.
he was like, I'm done. I'm not gonna retire no more. I'll see you guys Monday. And then literally like 2 hours after that, he demanded his contract be cut. So I don't know what's going on.
And then he fired his agent on Twitter. That dude loves. He's like Donald Trump Jr. loves that Twitter shit. So
yeah, I honestly think that we should just keep McCarron and draft the positions that we need. We're going to need some linemen. We need a middle linebacker. We let the leading tackler walk in free agency. And then,
I know it hasn't been a good offseason for you. I'm not trying to poke the bear too
not
much,
at all.
but I'm loving it over here in New York City, dude.
Yeah.
I think they make a move. I think they get that for the Cleveland's 4th overall pick because, like I said, if the Giants take quarterback, we take a quarterback. They're saying you guys want Allen anyways. We don't want Allen, so Allen will be there. I think you guys either trade up at 4 or, like I said, who's at 5? Denver's at 5. They want to trade back, and so that'd be a good spot for you too. Because I think there's no way Cleveland takes 2 running backs. If Cleveland takes or quarterbacks, if Cleveland takes Donald at 1 and they're at 4, they'll take that Chubb dude, that defensive tackle. So you'll have your quarterback there at 5, 4 or 5. I think you guys trade up, but you'll have to give up a lot since you waited so long. And then while we're talking about Buffalo real quick, Des Bryant is reportedly Buffalo showing interest in him.
Yeah, LaShawn McCoy, he's telling the coaches to get him, to sign him.
I mean, he's still got a couple good years left, I think.
Yeah, and he's a good blocking, big blocking receiver too. So that would definitely help out in the running game.
Yep, I mean he's a decoy because you guys lost. I mean you guys lost Jordan Matthews and stuff like that. So I'm ready for the NFL to start. That's basically what it breaks down.
Yeah,
and then
2 weeks till draft day.
Yep, and then like the NBA playoffs. I'm excited for the playoffs. Playoffs are always good. Besides your favorite teams series, what series are you most looking forward to in the first round, Rob?
I'd say the 1-8 will be interesting just because Minnesota is a decent team.
Yep.
Still think Houston's going to come out on it, but it'll be interesting to watch.
You think how many games you think? You think it's a sweep?
I think Minnesota could get 1 game at home, but I think probably Houston in 5.
Houston in 5. What about you, Fielding? What do you think the most intriguing one is besides Houston?
I want to see how Philly does in the playoffs. They went from last to playoffs, just like that. So I want to see how those young players can react, and then Simmons is going to definitely need to step up because I don't know when Embiid comes back.
Oh, I just saw this. Embiid predicted that they're going to win it all. He predicted Philly's going to win it all.
Yeah.
So we all know how that works when you come out and guarantee championships.
Right.
And so let's swing it to here something we're all passionate about here in Magic City, Omaha, Nebraska. The Cornhuskers. The Cornhuskers. How do you guys feel about the offseason of the Cornhuskers? We're a week away from the spring game. Patrick O'Brien just asked for his release, who was supposed to be the Lord Savior Jesus quarterback, who never even took he took a couple snaps but didn't do anything, and he transferred because he knew he wasn't going to get the job. I think what we're doing is amazing because, as you guys know, I hated Mike Riley with a passion from the minute we hired him. I didn't give him a chance because I knew he was going to fail, and I didn't want to wait the 3 years to watch him fail. And look what happened. He failed. And Frost is in here, a former player, former champion, saying the right things, doing the right things. He's coming from a team he took over that was 0-12, turned him to 6-6 to 12-0.
Approach for recruiting too.
Yep. And we opened up the walk-on program. We already got 17 walk-ons, and 15 of them are from Nebraska. 2 of them are one's from New York and one's from Missouri. So that's 17 players we didn't have before.
One of them almost played on our flag football team.
Oh, what? Yeah, we gotta make that happen.
Nick's cousin, yeah.
We gotta make that happen.
He made it to the second cut, and then he didn't make the second cut.
Second cut in Nebraska is the first cut in Nebraska flag football. You know what I mean? So, I like I said, I think it's been great. Everything he says is awesome. I mean, I get goosebumps when I hear the dude talk because you can just feel the passion. Mike Riley'd go up there half asleep, chomping his gum with his eyes closed. We need to try harder. We didn't do this. We didn't do that. Well, you're the coach. Why aren't you coaching him to do those things? And I think he's going to make accountability a huge part of our team, and that's huge on our team. You know, any team, accountability is huge because if you don't have accountability, then it don't matter when you're getting your ass kicked every week. So all I know is we won't be getting blown out, and if we do, it'll be not because of lack of energy or effort. It'll just be game plan.
And I think our linemen will do squats this year.
Yeah, I can't remember the player's name, but he already put on he lost 12 pounds of fat and put on 42 pounds of muscle. And it's not even spring practice. It's not even full in effect yet, dude. That is insane. That just shows you how lazy the last staff was.
Yeah.
I'll bash Mike Riley for 3 hours. I hate that. Now he's over in Oregon State, assistant head coaching, getting paid from Nebraska at the same time. How do you feel, Rob, about the offseason? I know you're a big Mike Riley fan, so.
I wasn't a Mike Riley fan. I just don't like how it seems like we're going through coaches left and right. You know?
Yeah.
If Frost does come out flat, you know, and doesn't do much, I don't want people should just chill out. You know, give them. Don't be so quick to. I understand Frost is probably a way better coach than Riley.
Oh, yeah.
I understand that. So I think we're in it for the long haul. Is what I'm saying.
Yep.
If things start going on the downhill,
Yep.
stick with them.
I think.
Don't be so quick to just keep throwing coaches out. 'Cause I mean,
And I get that because we're still paying Bo Pelini. Now we're playing Mike Riley and our old athletic director. But at the same.
Yeah, I'm glad Mike Riley's gone though. I tried to support him and
like I said,
the
I did
last
it
season.
first, and like I said, I saw,
You
We
were
lost to
supporting him.
Iowa
You were
twice.
supporting him 3 months ago.
I was not showing them I was supporting 3 months ago.
I will be way more loyal to Frost because he was here before, and he knows what it takes. The thing I hated about Mike Riley, he wasn't losing the games. It was that our team went out there and looked like a high school team would give more energy. They were just flat, dude. Our linemen were getting pushed back. Our defensive linemen had no penetration. They'd get pushed backwards. I could probably block our defensive linemen last year. They were just lazy. Half the team didn't practice. Only the starters got reps in practice. And that's not good. Now, Scott Frost, we have like 93 people on the roster right now. All 93 people get reps at practice.
Yeah.
All 93 people. If it was Mike Riley, 42 would get reps. The other 50 would sit back and watch and hope their name's called. Just a completely different environment, completely different feeling. I mean, you know shit's going good when your spring tickets games that start out at $10 are $600. You know what I mean, for a fucking scrimmage.
Sold out in the first hour.
Yeah, $600 for a scrimmage to go see Nebraska. So that's, I mean, to me that says that things are going the right way.
We got a buddy that's watching. That's another Husker fan. He's got some intake.
What's up? What's he got?
Oh, I was just going to say that I was reading an article about Scott Frost, and they were talking with Tom Osborne, and Tom Osborne was going on about how not only is Scott Frost pushing his players really hard, but the guy is very engaged as a teacher. Like, he's not a side. Like, he knows how to criticize while also pushing people, not yelling at them, and, letting people develop through it's just a very positive routine. And so he has a very good teaching style, which is going to make a big difference when it comes to players actually learning the skills and being able to implement them at such a high pace that he's pushing in his practices.
Well, then, just to go with you real quick, it's funny you brought that up. I'm actually glad you did, because I was talking to my uncle a while ago, and he was saying how during a Mike Riley practice, they'd spend maybe 5 minutes at each position teaching, and in a Scott Frost practice, they spend 25 to 30 minutes at each position.
He's engaged.
Exactly, he's engaged, and that. So I'm glad you brought that up because I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I guess he's not only a great coach, but like a brilliant teacher, which is going to make a big difference in these kids.
And then a couple. Yeah, I mean, he's just younger. You know what I mean? He can relate with this generation. I mean, the dude walks around wearing Yeezys all the time. You know what I mean? So he can relate with everybody a lot easier than a 65-year-old guy who's never won anything.
And he played the game at a high level.
Yep.
I
mean,
Heisman winner.
Look at what he did with UCF. It was a school no one's ever heard of. They were 0-12. He took them from 0-12 in his first year ever being a head coach to 6-6, to his second year ever being a head coach undefeated and beating top 10 teams.
Yeah.
Beating top 10 teams with a roster that's competing with Florida State, Florida A&M, all them other schools. And he's down here killing it in Florida. What do you think he's going to do at Nebraska? I mean, Nebraska is our NFL team. Nebraska is our everything, dude. Like, if you guys, people that aren't from here, have never experienced Lincoln on a game day, you have to go. I mean, I don't care if you're a fan or not. I've talked to people that are Colorado fans that say it's life-changing. It's amazing. You know what I mean? Here's a couple quotes I want to read from Scott Frost that caught my attention. He said, a guy asked him, "How are you going to change your philosophy and your game plan to the Big Ten?" And he said, "I'm not. The Big Ten is going to change their game plan to me or to us." And so, like, just that kind of confidence right there, like, you know what I mean? That shows – obviously he's not being arrogant and he's not being a dick. He's just saying, I'm not going to change anything I'm doing. I'm going to make them change for me. And I like that shit.
Yeah. Maybe they'll name it the Big 12.
Yeah. Anything else on Nebraska? Rob? No, I'm good. So then this new rule in college football – college football just came out. It's the new fair catch rule. Now, anywhere inside the 25-yard line, you can take a fair catch on a kickoff. So if the kicker kicks it off and you got the ball at the 3-yard line, you call it fair catch. You automatically get the ball on the 25-yard line.
I hate it.
So why not just get rid of the kickoff?
Yeah.
I mean,
you're eliminating bad field position, which is a part of the game.
Exactly. Field position is a very important part of the game.
We're going to see left safeties.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, the kick return is one of the most exciting plays in football because it don't matter.
Yeah.
It don't matter if you're down by 40 and if whoever does it, if the Patriot hit a kick return against the Jets, it would still be a cool play to see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
It's just, and then you're gonna take that out of the game because they say it's more dangerous.
And then that's another, like a college kid that can be recruited for his return abilities. Now they're taking that away, so there's gonna be less NFL teams looking for, basically athletes is what they call them.
It just blows my mind because their whole excuse for this is that the kickoff is the most dangerous play in football. When I see more people getting hurt on a sweep run than I do on a kick return, I think they're just out here trying to throw shit and hope it sticks to the wall because they got to show people that they're doing stuff for trauma and CTE when you're taking away the most important, like the most exciting play a football game can have.
Yeah, kickoff.
And I think the way that they're going at it in the NFL, it's too early. What I've heard what's happening is in Little League they're teaching kids how to hit differently altogether.
Yep.
From when they're little, so that in 10 years when they're in the league, they're hitting in a whole different way than how players today were taught. So
that's when the veterans tearing up rookies.
Yeah.
Welcome to the NFL.
Well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. 1 week away from the spring game. We're getting close to football season. A lot more stuff to talk about in football season when that comes around. Controversies, trades, whatever. So, I mean, that pretty much brings us to the end of this episode of the world greatest, soon-to-be world-famous Sports Corner podcast. I want to thank Rob for joining us. Thank you very much for coming out talking about the NBA. Hopefully Portland can do something good for you. We all know they're not going to win that championship, but at least they're in the playoffs, I guess.
Hey, if you guys do good enough, we can see you in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Houston versus Portland. We'd have to watch that together.
I'd be happy because Golden State would go down.
Yep.
Season's over, so you don't gotta keep saying
I wouldn't mind seeing two brand new teams in the finals.
Disappointed me.
They disappointed me too. Thanks, Anthony, as always, for being the co-host. Anything you want to say? Anything you want to take some shots at anybody? Anything?
No. Go Braves.
Yeah, hey, we're playing good baseball right now.
That Ozzie Albies' second year in the leagues, five home runs already. So.
Nice, good. So thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week or the week after.
All right.
Peace.
Hopefully the Bills lose every game next year.
Won't happen.